Next slide, that's Henry Moore. Now you say, fine, Dr. Ramachandran, how do I know any of this is true? Now that's the important thing about science. What makes science different from philosophy? Philosophers have been talking about art and aesthetics for thousands of years, going all the way back to Aristotle. And guess how much progress they have made? I won't go into that, okay? Now, the reason is, they don't come up with testable ideas. What I'm saying is you can test what I'm saying. And I'll tell you how you can do that. Let's take something very specific like cubism. Your response to, let's take Picasso, right? Why is this putting two eyes on one side? What is cubism? Is transcending the tyranny of viewpoint. I can only see this from one viewpoint. You say no, Picasso says I'm going to drag the other side of the face and put it here. Okay? But why should that be beautiful? That's what nobody has answered. I'm going to answer that. Okay? If you go to the visual infratemporal cortex and you record from cells in that part of the brain, next slide, what you find is very interesting. This is a schematic diagram of my graduate student's brain. Okay? If you record from cells here, each cell in the face area of the brain will respond to one view of a particular person, boss. The frontal view, semi-profile, complete profile. Different cells, this cell for profile, this cell only for frontal, right? These are face cells, but only one view of the face, okay, only one view of the face. But if you go to the next area higher up, you get these master face cells, which respond to any view of the face, so long as it's the right face, boss. And you go to another mast cell, it'll be my mate. Another cell, my baby. Okay? Different cells for different faces. How do you construct these? You take the output of these, anybody here who's an electronics engineer will know this, you take the outputs of all these cells for individual views, and you pool them onto one master cell, which responds to any view. Okay? Now comes the punchline. If you put two views simultaneously in one image, it's going to excite two cells and hyperactivate that cell. So that cell's going to scream its head off, saying, my God, what a face. Okay? And then it's going to tell the limbic system, here is a super face. That's what Picasso is. That's what cubism is. There is a philosopher in the audience. Next slide. Okay, so this is just showing you what I just said. Next slide. Now another way to do the same experiment is to do galvanic skin response. Remember I said the visual image goes in, cascades into the limbic system, makes you sweat. I'm saying if you show somebody a real Playboy pinup versus a Picasso, you should get more sweating with a Picasso, even though the pinup looks more realistic. Because I'm saying it's hyperactivating the visual areas in the brain. So these are all testable propositions. We're working on this. Next slide.